Mark, why is Frank the person for this role, and how important was it to fill this role?
Very important for us to find the right person, not to hurry into that search too quickly. It was finding the right person with the knowledge, the background, understanding what David and I want from the players, the type of profiles of players we want, and there's no better person for Frank than Frank.
How far behind are Rangers to where they should be in your eyes?
In terms of recruitment, well, we've got to say that summer went well. If you look at the players we brought in, we lost 11 players plus 5 loans. We brought 11 players in, and touch wood, they've settled in very well. You know, you'd like to think if you can get 7, 8 out of 10 right, you're in a good place. The likes of Fodringham and Kiernan, Halliday and Holt, etc., Waghorn, Tavernier, these guys have come in and done very well for us. So recruitment's gone well, and it was important for us to get the right people at the right time. We had to wait for Frank. We waited, and now we've got the right person.
Now that Frank's here, Mark, are you still looking for that same profile of player, or when you're looking ahead to the next 2 transfer windows, is that a different type of profile that you're now looking to?
No, Frank knows exactly what we want from a player. We like young, hungry players. We like players who've got development potential still. We want players who add character and add value on and off the pitch. I don't want to use those phrases too loosely, but it's important for us. The unity in the dressing room is really important. So you may have a good player on the pitch with the wrong character off the pitch. That won't work for us. So if we're not sure, we won't commit.
And will you still be looking in the same market, the Championship League One in England, or will you spread the net a little bit wider?
You've got to look every pond you can possibly fish in. That's really important. But it's not always about how much you spend. It's not about having the biggest budget. It's how you utilise your budget. And I think we showed that at the previous club as well, that there's players out there that you can find who can add value for you and who you can develop and quickly become an asset. So hopefully that's the same at Rangers.
How important was your relationship with him to bring him in here?
Yeah, he knows how we work. He knows how David and I work. We had a good relationship previously. I've known Frank through Liverpool and Next Gen and many years. I know he has a great eye. He recognises young talent. He recognises key areas of how they can benefit a team. He recognises weakness as well in the players, which is important for us to know. You're not going to get the perfect player. You're never going to. If they're a perfect player, they're playing in the Premier League and they're on 100,000 a week. So the fact is, if you can recognise their weaknesses and see if you can improve them, that's equally as important. So I've no doubt in his ability to do that. Trust his judgment, absolutely. And I think he'd be one of the biggest signings for us.
He's obviously got quite a big background in youth development. How important is that for you as well?
Really important. The full-time players coming in here to Murray Park, it's important for Frank to see them, to find them. We've got to raise the quality. If you look at our bench our squad last week, the likes of Liam Burt, Ross Lyon, these are young players playing the 17s and 20s, and they're in the Rangers first team squad. If they do well and work hard, then they'll be in our squad, they'll be given a chance. Frank's job will be to constantly add quality to the squads, the younger squads as well, not just the first team. If we can do that, we'll be in good shape.
What sort of resources will you have to work with though in terms of players? Because when the figures came, obviously still a shortfall this season has to be made up. The club haven't addressed all its finances properly, so presumably you and he are going to be working with limited resources moving forward.
No, all I know is that every player we've gone for so far, we've secured. And we're working closely with the board and the owner, talk daily with Stuart and Andrew. Communication's first class, we're really happy with that. They know we update. Our last meeting was on Monday morning with Frank and David and Stuart and Andrew, etc., going through our targets and what we think the cost will be, etc. So we're in good shape. I've got no doubts at the moment. I've got no problems, no concerns, and I'm sure we'll get the players we're looking for.
But presumably you're working below, or for example, there's not going to be 7-figure players bought here, presumably.
We will put forward what we think are players who can add value. That's key to us. If you look at certain players, you can buy a player for £1 million who quickly becomes 5. You can buy a player at 850 or 2 years later is at 550. It's about trusting your judgment and getting your eye right, hopefully, and getting the right level of value for the club. So if it's near 7 figures and we think it represents value, we'll put it to the board, absolutely.
Do you think the board, if you put a strong case and you said, look, this guy here could be worth around about £1 million, but in 2 years' time, he might have a resale value of 5, 6, 7 times of that, they will be willing to fund that kind of...
Our job is to make sure we put forward players that we think represent value for Rangers Football Club. That's important for us. Now, if that's a player that costs you £5,000 that in 2 years' time is 500, then fantastic. If we think it's a player at 850 now that can go up, then we'll do our due diligence, do our homework, put a case forward. And all I know is up to now the support has been outstanding. I've no reason to think that will change.
I was going to say my final question was just, are you aware though that perhaps Rangers, because of the financial restraints, because of what's happened, you have to have more successes than failures in that trading?
That's the nature of the beast. The game is changing. You used to be able to say if you can get half of them right, there was 6 out of 10 right. We know it's important. So far it's gone very well. There will be failures. Every club has failures, but I think we have to trust our judgment. We have a good track record, and hopefully we can continue with that.
Was that how it worked in the summer then? You just identify one player on a case-by-case basis rather than being given a budget that you had to fill?
What do we need? We don't need, right now, for example, we don't need major surgery. We've lost one game of football. We're 5 points clear at the top of the league, and the squad's sound and in good shape. So 1 or 2 in January, maximum, to do that. In June, let's see how we finish the season, but maybe 4 or 5 in total, including January. But it's no major surgery required, but it's making sure that the 4 or 5 players we bring in definitely add value. There's no point bringing in what we have now. No point at all, but make sure we add value to the current squad.
How much, obviously, it's a big thing for the club that Frank's here, but for yourself and Davey as well, it must have been a lot to do in the summer as well as getting to know the players over here, also going out and recruiting players as well.
Yeah, part of your job is to know the market. So my strength, for example, was knowing the younger market down south through my academy background. Likewise, David, working at Everton, knew the market really well. Frank's background is extensive. He was academy director at Liverpool. Obviously knows the first team market. He's got extensive European contacts as well. So it's about bouncing ideas, looking at players, judging them, watching them. Every club does it. Every manager, every coach, every recruitment head does it. But it's making sure that we trust our judgment, get the player profiles right, and that's when we think we see value.
Do you still see yourself going out, watching games, looking for players?
Absolutely, yeah. Absolutely. That's part and parcel of the job. But I've no doubts in Frank's ability. That's key for us here. We've got someone that I know his judgment is sound. He knows the type of player we want. It's really important to us.
Where you imagined you were going to be at this stage in the season, how far away are you from that? In terms of what you've developed as a Rangers team?
I think what's gone really well for us, what's most pleasing, is the unity in the dressing room. Because you can get a player, you can do all the studies, you can look at his tactical attributes, physically, etc. But you're never really sure how the character fits into the dressing room. So delighted with that. I think we're ahead of the curve in terms of the unity and the strength of the unity in the dressing room. Everything else has gone really well. The players have adopted a work ethic and a commitment, and that's important for us. That's important that the turmoil the fans have gone through recently. It's important that they see players now committed to the cause. So delighted with their application and their work rate. They deserve to be where they are right now, and their focus is very clear.
Mark, you'll see that off-field stuff continues to make the headlines today. You touched upon the turmoil there. Are you still confident that all the talk that's going on in the background about historical issues, tax and everything, won't affect the players just now?
Absolutely. That's not, with the greatest, take this the right way, that's not our business. Our area of expertise is here. We have to focus on the football department and make sure we're as good as we can possibly be every single day. And if we do that and we get that right, and the fans see the players committed and winning games of football and securing points, then that's a huge boost for the club. So I'm not dismissing it, far from it. What I'm saying is our focus is here, and that will never change.
Sorry, one final question. You've obviously got a big challenge now with Hibs right on your tails. Do you think it will come down to the head-to-heads with Hibs?
We're only 5 points clear. That's, people say we've lost one game of football all season. All credit to any team that puts a run of victories together. It's not easy to do. So all credit to Hibs for doing that, and other teams likewise. But our focus is Rangers. We've lost one game of football. We're 5 points clear at the top of the league, and our focus is making sure we maintain that form.